So you're gonna make tomato sauce.
I'm gonna make a filetto di pomodoro sauce, which is a chunky tomato sauce. I'm gonna show you everything. I'm gonna crush the tomatoes up with our hands.
Do you take the seeds out?
No. With a filetto, you leave everything in. The only thing that comes out is the skin. A really good filetto is always with, fresh tomatoes.
10
I need to
a.m.
get some basil, so I'm gonna call the restaurant real fast.
So someone's gonna literally run over here right now with some basil?
I'll be here any minute. I'll also do a little onion in this.
That's a serious knife.
You want the tomatoes to be in just the right size pieces. So you can't really get that with a knife.
I heard you have to take the seeds out.
The seeds are gonna add a little bit of a bite. You gotta think about the actual pasta itself. So you're gonna cut the tomatoes based on which pasta you're gonna use. And we're gonna use rigatoni, so we want it to get caught, tangled,
Inside
and
it.
stuck inside.
Yeah.
So you don't want the pieces to be too big that they can't get stuck inside, or too small that it's gonna be too uniform. When you're making a filetto, you wanna cook it for 15, 20 minutes max. You don't wanna cook it for a long time. You don't wanna take away that freshness. But you can see it's really good now.
Yeah.
It's a good size. You can only get that from doing it with your hands. So we're gonna do smash, which is really just, you can pulverize it a little, so there's nothing left. So, that's what I like to do, and that's kind of my specialty is taking the simple Italian dishes and really paying attention to all the little details. Getting the best tomatoes, handling the garlic perfectly, handling the basil perfectly, steeping it. This is a sweet onion that you can almost eat it raw. When I do filetto, I do olive oil and just a little bit of butter. See?
Yeah.
You see, that's why that's how you sweat, because I don't want any
You don't want color. Yeah.
at all. And this is basically ready. You can smell the garlic, you can smell the onions. It's nice. It's a nice base for this sauce. The aromatics are released into the oil. So the oil then permeates the entire sauce. And this is 15, 20 minutes and it's gonna be ready. When we bring it up to a boil, you can see it doesn't need to really thicken. It just needs to cook. If these were fresh tomatoes, you'd have to maybe cook them a little bit longer. And some of the tomatoes, you'd have to puree and strain them to help the thicken. Now I'm gonna throw in the herbs. I'm gonna throw in
You're
some
going
basil.
to steep the basil.
What's important here is that you do not cut the basil. The cell structure of the basil is completely intact, so it can only bleed out the flavor very slowly, and it just steeps in the flavor. And if you want, you can pull the basil all out, and you still have the basil flavor inside. And I'm gonna hit that with a little bit of a higher end olive oil now. Just by going right on top, same thing. I'm gonna add a little salt to this now, just because I want to see how it. So I'm just gonna some coarse sea salt right on top. All right, so now we're gonna throw the pasta. This right here has been my bread and butter since I opened Frank Restaurant 17 years ago. Rigatoni ragu, the Checo rigatoni. There's not a single one of these broken in this entire thing. Look how perfect every single one of these rigatonis is. It's ridiculous. It's the best pasta, the best rigatoni made. Same thing, I'm gonna use the same coarse salt. I'm gonna use about 3 handfuls.
Yeah, nice and salty water.
Salty water with pasta is critical.
Yeah, indeed.
First of all, anyone that puts sugar into their tomato sauce is whack. Something wrong with them. They're fucking out of their fucking minds. The first minute or two of the pasta cooking is the time that's most important to stir it, because that's when it's gonna stick.
Oh, really?
It's gonna give it a little bit of a bite. Just a little bit of oregano. And then I'm also gonna add a couple Calabrian chilies.
Those smell really good.
I'm gonna put one, give it a little kick. A lot of people say, well, what's the proper salt, to put in the pasta water? Taste the water. It should be as salty as you'd like your soup to be. I don't have to taste the pasta. When I taste the water, I know exactly how the pasta's gonna be, because the pasta's in the water. These are fresh, actual leaves from the bay leaf tree. I'm just gonna put like 3 of these in here and just give it a little bit of a steep, maybe 4. That's it, the sauce is ready. Strain it out. And here, I'm not gonna save any of the pasta water.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna really dry it out nice, because I don't wanna add any water into the tomato sauce at all. Now, you wanna cook the pasta for a little bit in the tomato sauce. So we wanna take the lighter parts of the sauce from the top.
Why?
Because it's less thick. So, see it? See how much it's sucked up already? Almost all the sauce is gone. And that's so we'll put a little more sauce in here. That's it. We're basically there. There's no like water on the bottom. That's what you're looking for. And now this will go on top. Perfectly cooked. See, it's pulpy without being watery.
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna. We need some fresh olive oil on top, especially with the tomato sauce. This is a calabrese oil that I get, and it just really just wakes everything right the fuck up. And then a grana padano. Grana padano. We're gonna do a little coarser grind right on top.
Oh my God, I'm so happy right now.
And of course, more at the table if you want. Done. Let's eat.
Let's eat.